Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios. And today we're officially kicking off, a new series called Make It, Mail It Monday. And the whole idea is we make all these lovely cards, but then they sit in our studios and we don't do anything with them. So I encourage you every Monday to join me to make a card and put it in the mail. Now, you do not always have to use the stamp set that I use, the sentiments that I use. Make the card what you want it to be for something that you can share, okay? If you're new to my studio, thanks for stopping in. I hope you'll take a moment to like and subscribe to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. It's always good to see familiar faces. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I filmed this twice yesterday, and the one that I thought I was going to keep, I was out of frame more than I was in frame. So, I'm going to walk you through what I did with the card today, and you will find all the dimensions that you need, as well as links to the Stampin' Up! Products on my blog, and I will link the blog down below. And it will be a direct link to the post for this card. Excuse me, it's really early. I have been up like 10 minutes. But with HughesNet, I have less traffic, a little bit more bandwidth if I upload between 2 and 8 a.m. So I'm going to try and get these up every Monday morning on time. So today I chose to work with, here it is. We're making this card today, and I chose to work with flowering tulips. Now I will be featuring flowering tulips all this month, as it is our feature. It is our feature bundle, which means you can purchase this flowering tulips as a stamp set and the die at a bundle and receive 10% off at a 10% off discounted price. I do not have the dies. I chose not to do the dies because these things are easy enough for me to fussy cut if I wanted to piecemeal them out. And like this cuts out beautifully with the circle from our layering circle dies, as you'll see today. So I'm working with the flowering tulips as well as our flowering fields. And I'm going to pull out the sheet that I chose to work with. I chose this one. And I love this one. Now, the flowering fields coordinates with several different colors. You can use Highland Heather, which is what I've chosen to work with this pattern today. You can also work with Pear Pizzazz, Petal Pink, Mango Melody, and Calypso Coral. All of these colors will coordinate with this designer series paper. I also chose and I'm going to take it out of the package so we don't have the glare, since I figure out which end is up here. There we go. You find the top. I am working with a sketch, SC29. Now you will find this one on Split Coast Stampers. I will link it down below, and this is the sketch that we're going to work from today. Excuse the sniffles. I am super not awake yet. Okay, I used a Highland Heather card base. I also chose to layer the papers on black. Now, if you have a bold pattern and you need to break it up, it's one of those what we in the industry tend to call like the ugly papers, because there's just so much pattern we don't know what to do with it. First of all, if you don't think you like the pattern when you're looking at it as a whole, chop it up. Even start by cutting it down into a 6x6. Because once you cut it down into a 6x6, everything else works, because your card dimensions are going to be 4.5 by 4.25 by 5.5. Cut that down to 4 by 5.25, and then you've got everything that you need to work with, including the belly band or the sentiment band, as well as your base. So I layered this with black at 5 1/4 by 4. Cut the DSP to 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and that gave me just a scant 1/8" border all the way around. This one I also layered with black at 5 1/4 by 1 5/8, and then the DSP is cut at 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. I used the layering circles to cut the scallop circle background from the black. Now this is another one of those, you know, I like to stamp on my DSP, on my pattern paper. So this is what I use for the front. Flip it over, and this is this muted lavender that you get for the back. And as you can see, you can stamp on that muting beautifully. So you don't have to add a starch white to your card to kind of break everything up. This lets this blend in with the rest of the card just beautifully. I also added the classic matte dots. I used 3 of the large white ones here and then 1 of the small white ones here. But Kelly, where did you stamp? Well, let me show you. On the inside, I chose to use, let's see what I used. This flower and this flower, as well as this leaf and the stem, and I molded them together all on the same block, just like this. Let me pull this one out. Did my stem, did my leaf. Let's see, what did I use? This one? Nope, going the wrong direction. Let's go this way. I went this way, and then I took one of the tulips that is a little bit more open. And if you look at this, this could also duplicate as a crocus. No, that's not the one I used. This is the one I used. Kind of angled it off. Put this one a little bit lower on the stem, just like that. Now you can go back and you can color these with your ink pads without any problem. But I use my ink spots, and we've had this discussion before, but I use my ink spots. I don't buy hardly any of the large pads. I buy everything in just getting the re-inkers. Get my stamp blocks over here. They all come tumbling out. And what do I use? Highland Heather and the Pear Pizzazz. And I just buy the blank re-ink or spots, and I ink them up with my re-inkers. These take up a whole lot less room in my studio. And because I save all my colors, I wouldn't have room for the bigger ink pads. I started this years ago when they offered the spots in color families, as well as the big ones. So let me see if I've got a scrap of white here handy. Oh yeah, we can do this. Now remember, because these are silicone, you're going to want to either have your Stampin' Up! Grid paper mat, or you're going to want to put a foam pad like a mouse pad, or this impression pad that we sell. And then I just come back here. I think I have my tulips going the wrong direction. Nope, I'm going the right direction. And then I just came in here on my inside and stamped them down, with preferably not dropping the card, but you get the idea. Dropping the block, but you get the idea. That will get turned into something lovely later. And then I just added it to the inside of my card, leaving me plenty of room to put a sentiment. And that's how simple this card was. Now next week, now that I have the camera back in position, we will be doing this on camera, where I will walk you through everything. But I did want to get this up and get it up on time today. So, oh, and when I put this down, I put dimensionals on the back of the sentiment mat, so it brought it up just a little bit more. So that is our Make It Mail It Monday project for April 4th. You can also find what upcoming cards are going to be done by going to my Stampin' Up website, kellyhankins.stampinup.net, and I will link my website down below. And as soon as I get the rest of the cards made today, I will have the photos for those up on the calendar, as well as information about upcoming projects. Just click on the calendar, and you'll get all the information for upcoming items and sales. So remember, Flowering Fields is going on now, as well as our last chance is still going on, where you can go through and pick out some of your favorites at a discount. Suggestion here is, let's see. Okay, Timeless Tropical Cling Set is on sale. So you'll want to go through and take a look at that. And if you want a PDF of the last chance sale, email me and I will drop one in the mail to you until I figure out how to add PDFs to my blog. I'm still working on little nuances like that. And you can, you'll find all that information on my blog. And my email is in the drop box down below. Tomorrow, I'm going to be bringing you a special mini haul. Bob and I took the day on Saturday to just gallivant around, and we ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner out. We hit flea markets and gun shops, and I got a couple of stamp sets to show you. So you'll want to come back for that. In the meantime, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And creative blessings.